body of Christ is kept before and after Mass as well. So let's take a walk back there and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I actually talk about the Blessed Sacrament Chapel in my homilies sometimes, and I remind you, children, and your parents and grandparents to come back here to this Blessed Sacrament Chapel for prayer before Mass or especially after Mass. And it's called a Blessed Sacrament Chapel, meaning chapel means a little prayer room. Blessed Sacrament is another name we have for the Eucharist or the body of Christ, blessed sacrament. And so any Blessed Sacrament Chapel in a church is a place for people to pray, because in the tabernacle is actually the body of Christ, where the hosts that we consecrate and bless at Mass that become the body of Christ. After Mass, we put the extra ones in the tabernacle for taking communion to sick people or anybody that can't make it to Mass. So we reserve it in there to then take it to the sick. Also, we keep it there so that we can come here for prayer, and we're right here in the presence of Jesus in the tabernacle. I want to say a little bit about the word tabernacle. The very first tabernacle goes all the way back to the time of Moses and Abraham, where they built a tabernacle. They didn't have the body of Christ then, but in their tabernacle they kept the Ten Commandments and little pieces of the manna to remind them that God was present and in their midst. So they built this tabernacle that they would carry and move around wherever they moved throughout the desert. So that's where we get the word tabernacle, which means like a little house for God. So nowadays, that Christ has given us the body of Christ, we have tabernacles in our church to hold our real presence of Jesus for us to pray in a very special place. So let's look more closely at the tabernacle itself. First of all, in the room, how to recognize where a tabernacle is in a Catholic church is the sanctuary lamp, the red candle. Sometimes it's white, oftentimes it's a red candle that's burning right next to or above the tabernacle. So that's what ours is, and this beautiful sanctuary lamp has 4 silver angels surrounding it, and those angels are all like in a position of praying right above the tabernacle. So this is an antique sanctuary lamp from our diocese that we have here, and it hangs right above the tabernacle. The tabernacle is made of the same stone that the altar and the baptismal font is, that ancient limestone that we talked about that's about 60 million years old. So it's in the shape of this tower, which is an ancient design the tabernacles had as like a tower of God's presence here. And this particular one has this beautiful door. There's actually 4 panels on it, but the front one is where the door is. And if you open, you'll see the priest, a deacon, or a minister open this door when they're getting communion out to take to the sick. And then inside this door is another door that I just want you to see sometime, that you don't need to come up here necessarily to look at, but I want you to see it now in this video to see how special it is. So it's another gold door, and on that gold door is a chalice and a host, reminding us that inside of here is the body of Christ. And so this tabernacle and this Blessed Sacrament Chapel is a special place for you to come and pray. Especially like after Mass, after you've received Jesus into your body and your heart, then after Mass you can come back here and just sit and thank Jesus for all that he does in your life. Or maybe someday you've had a bad day at school and you want to ask your parents, Mom and Dad, can we go to church? I just want to pray in front of Jesus, in front of the Blessed Sacrament. And so you can come in here anytime the church is open for your own little prayer. There's 4 chairs in here and 4 kneelers. Whenever we come to the tabernacle and the Blessed Sacrament Chapel, one way of showing reverence is that of a genuflection that I know you've also learned about in your class, but I want to practice that genuflection with you as a sign of reverence to Jesus and the Blessed Sacrament in the tabernacle. And a genuflection, so I'm going to do it out here for you to see better, is, so as I'm approaching the tabernacle, genuflection is always taking your right knee, and it goes all the way to the floor, and while you're down there out of reverence, then you make the sign of the cross, and then you come up again. So that genuflection is something we should do whenever we come into the church, and anytime we walk in front of the tabernacle or come back here to pray. And a genuflection is a sign of saying, wow, Jesus is right here in our midst, and we show such reverence for him with the genuflection. We also bow sometimes to the altar or to the book of the Gospels. We bow to reverence people, but whenever you're in front of the tabernacle or the Eucharist, we genuflect. So I hope by this little tour will help you appreciate, first of all, the meaning of the Eucharist to us as Catholics, and that this is really Jesus, his body and blood coming into our bodies, and that we reserve that Eucharist in the tabernacle for prayer at other times. So I hope this helps your prayer better, and I hope it helps your retreat day as we prepare for your first Holy Communion.